Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Okay, all our preparations are just about set. Now that this is actually happening, I've got some pre-show jitters.
All this royalty? I always felt they lived in a different world to the likes of me. Never figured I'd be walking alongside one myself.
'Tis proof that bloodline decides nothing. We are one people living in a shared world.
Looks like this is gonna be our last mission. Any final words you want to say?
We can't give up. Stand strong to the end.
Of course. No way we're losing here. I've got the fire in my eyes now.
About the new stuff you've felt and learned since becoming the prince. Can I ask you one more thing? Why is it that you want to be king? It's not about honor or power, is it?
I want to protect this country and its people.
'Tis the answer I hoped for. As your knight, I will ever serve you with all my soul and ability.
Well, I guess this means we're ready as we're gonna be. Here's where we are now.
This place...
Let's move!
You see?
Yeah. After having made so many sacrifices, the group has gained new powers and ascertained new truths. Their arch-enemy, Luis, already has one hand on the throne. Even so, they march ever forward, spirits rekindled by battle. They head to Grand Trad, for the fight is far from over.
That Elden boy is nowhere to be found. I suppose it's only a matter of time until Luis takes the throne.
Speaking of which, I don't see the general.
The voice of the pro-Luis faction became too overwhelming. He was ultimately forced out of his position. Why is this happening? Even if the Sanctus Church's favor has collapsed, why is it that Luis alone is reaping the benefits?
The public mind is the same as it's always been. It's too difficult to find answers in themselves, so they follow those who provide. We've certainly relied on that ourselves.
It's always easier to follow than to have to make all the risks yourself. Now that we are out of ideas, what can we do?
Can you imagine Luis on the throne? Can you imagine what he'd do with us? We'd be the first on the chopping block. Do we hide? Run? Our ships are in port.
Is this really the time for idle chit-chat?
Who are you?
Just a passing wastrel. Thought I'd drop in for a word since I was in the area. You might have one way to survive.
Well then, let us depart.
Lord Luis, your pardon. We've encountered an unexpected snag. I killed the prince in the Elden village. I confirmed his death, yet it appears the boy candidate has merged with his corpse. It seems the prince is now resurrected.
Resurrected?
Yes, and what's more, the boy candidate was the actual prince after all. Something about his soul having traveled independently, and then returning to his corporeal body.
I see. So his ideal form was spun from Magla. Whatever the case, this means the land's true prince has reawakened in his sanctum. How interesting. After these long years, my chase may finally come to an end. My nemesis awaits.
Lord Luis, what is it about that bastard that fascinates you? Yeah, I won't let it end like this. I have to do better. I need more power. I will show Lord Luis I am worthy of his gaze.
We'll soon be arriving above the royal capital.
Excellent. As planned, increase altitude and enter the royal palace in the sky.
Are you certain? We'll be heading directly to His Majesty, the former king, and...
Rest assured, that old fool is powerless to stop me now. Proceed.
Understood.
Let the final banquet begin.
Come on, any takers? Any bets for the other candidates? Remember, if Luis loses, a silver coin could turn into mountains of Reef.
What are you trying to say? You think Count Luis is going to lose?
Oh, no, of course not. I'm just saying.
I'll call that bet. All in on His Highness the Prince.
A sanctus bigwig gambling away his tithes? This really is the end of the world. Didn't know his esteemed princeliness had any supporters left.
I mean, he's not really the prince, is he? Was actually a monster in disguise all along. Haven't you heard the news? The times we live in, I'll tell you.
Must be tough, being an easy mark. It didn't take much for you to buy everything Luis was selling about the prince. The fireworks went off the moment he said, "Behold." Remember? You don't think there's any chance Luis orchestrated the entire thing?
Oi, churchman! You saying Count Luis lied to us? You think he cast some big illusion?
An illusion, eh? What if I said it's a power more dangerous than that? Always struck me as odd. We all know Luis, the mighty human slayer, but how does he keep finding the things one after another? Seems a bit convenient, if you ask me. Like he knows in advance where these monsters will appear to cause havoc.
Easy to nitpick and gripe about him, isn't it, churchman? Maybe someone needs to shut you up.
All right. Let's keep things civil, eh? No sense becoming a monster yourself.
Oi! What's all this fuss about?
Damn it! When Count Luis is king, you'll all be the first at the gallows. You'll die just like Forden.
Well, they're probably just as anxious as the rest of us. All that yelling and thrashing helps fight it off. Humans have been sighted near the capital, after all.
It's more than that. Pockets of society have resented the upper class for ages now, but this might be the spark that lights the kindling. Luis's respect for power is certainly cruel, but it's fair to an extent. Those of us pushing the status quo have always struggled to understand the appeal.
Even then, everyone's on edge. They'll jump at any excuse to argue and snarl at each other. Never seen it this bad. Not normal, I say.
Blind fanaticism and doom go hand in hand. If we don't find some common ground soon, it'll collapse beneath us. Luis left saying that he'd be waiting at the royal capital. Only one place he could be. All eyes are on his Skyrunner as it rises to the flying palace. What are we about to see?
Ah, the royal palace. It's been a while. Do you hear me, O king? Stubborn and deathless? This country is distorted. You and the other titled authorities decide who grows fat and who is devoured. The country knows no war only because our very core is built upon a system of societal predator and prey. It cannot be defied from within. That is peace, but not order. Hand over the royal scepter. The game is over. The country needs change, and I will provide it.
Thou impertinent faith breaker, hast thou no shame in preempting the day of judgment?
Do you presume yourself a god? Is that why you wrought your face in stone and took it to the heavens? You're nothing! Just an ordinary, broken old man.
How wouldst thou wield the king's magic? To what end?
To purify all that your kind have left to rot. You threw away your ideals, but I will never make that mistake.
Only the people's chosen may take the throne. The royal scepter and its resting place remain beyond you.
This royal scepter, the royal magic. Did you think that only generations of kings were aware of their secrets? Why someone can manipulate world-changing power by use of only a single scepter? Why only those supported by the people can use it? Listen well, O king. The truth behind the royal magic. So it's true. The country truly is putrid with sin. In other words, if I took hold of it now, then I would have the power to change the world itself.
How didst thou learn of this?
How?
Thou wert elder.
You were not always blind to this country's rot. When you visited our sanctum, I saw and knew the passion in your heart. And yet, what happened to our village? What happened to this country?
Oh.
You cannot stop me any longer. Nor can anyone else. Save one lone possibility.
Snatching victory from the maw of catastrophe, the party descends again on the royal capital, Grand Trad. But they are greeted only by ominous skies. Their return hardly counts as a triumph, considering how they departed. Anticipating conflict, the Gauntlet Runner comes to a quiet stop.
What the hell's wrong with the sky?
Isn't that... Oi! That monster boy's come back!
Ah, that's why the sky's grown so hellish. The half-dead bastard returns with his head held high.
A more aggressive welcome than I expected. Would any introductions help them to understand?
It's useless. Words are cheap. Still, we should walk with pride instead of trying to keep our heads down.
True enough.
His Royal Highness, the Prince, returns! Luis distorted his form through strange and terrible magics, but the curse is now dispelled. His true form has been restored!
Oi, if that's really His Highness, then tell us why didn't His Majesty in the sky stop all this bloodshed?
'Cause he's an imposter! Just like Count Luis said! You'll not fool us again, beast!
Oi! Calm down. At least listen.
And you! Never thought I'd see one of the Magnus brothers standing against Count Luis, even the thick one. He took in a Paribus like you, and you spit on him! Scum! Only thing traitors deserve is a tight rope and a stiff beam. And you want us to support the prince!
Lady Junah, I can't believe this! I admired you! Why would you risk dying alongside some fake prince? I don't intend on dying with anyone! Besides, I'm still me, whoever I'm standing with.
Hey, you chief! Weren't you the wretch who got kicked out of the knighthood? Now you're with this pack of throne chasers. Shame! Shame!
Mustari girl! You ungrateful pagan! Count Luis brought down the Sanctus Church for you!
How dare you strike out at him?
They're all traitors, I say!
What is all this? The truth of the prince hardly matters to them. Every one of them's only concerned with their own emotions, and nothing else.
We'll have your heads on pikes soon enough. Leave! Get out of our royal capital!
If they're just monsters, we can deal with them ourselves. How about it?
This is bad. They really are out for our blood. Has everyone gone insane?
Oi! Over here! Don't bother with them! No talking this one out. You need to run! Now!
We weren't away from the city that long. What happened? Why are all the people so bloodthirsty now?
The prince turning into a monster before their eyes still lingers in their minds. After all, a monster entered into their society disguised as a person.
No, that's not...
I know, it's not true. But truth and how it appears to the citizens are different beasts. Moreover, humans have been sighted closer than ever before. The royal capital's populace is unused to danger, so they've become suspicious of each other. How fares your neighbor? Do you run in circles with monsters in disguise? Are questions on the tip of every tongue. Ever since Forden's death, Luis has everyone on a knife edge. He's erratic, and nobody knows how he'll react to those who defy him if push comes to shove.
So, at the core of it, people are scared witless, and they cling to Luis as a savior, rather than the devil he is.
You well know that Luis cares not one whit about social status, especially as a token of birthright. No amount of wealth or standing can buy his protection. So even those who may have opposed him at first now counsel that condemning him would be imprudent, as it puts their safety at risk.
Then we're stuffed. He won't save anyone. And oh yeah, he can create humans, by the way.
Oh, that's all true then. I have my suspicions, but it's still a bit of a jolt. This all said, in my humble opinion, what we're seeing in the people now has been in the works for some time. Now, has the tournament for the throne truly ever been a fair contest? The Sanctus Church bent it to its whim, and I abetted that. To my shame. Before I met you people, I didn't have much to me but anger and quips. I'd rant and snipe and have my cynical little discourse, but I'd only looked to others for change. Now maybe that outlook's our real enemy. Blind fanaticism, like I had. Even if there's no malice to it, it's a dangerous thing. Hard to think clear when your mind's a muddy stream.
We've been told Magla is born from people's anxiety. Perhaps the proof is now before our eyes.
Kind of ironic. But we have to do something about it. If we don't, they'll never listen. We'll only ever be seen as an enemy.
I had the inn prepared. They won't let anyone in but you lot. Let's head there for now, shall we?
All right.
Luis is the only one. Smash it all to bits!
Everyone, I'm glad you made it back in one piece. Since you left, Luis's following has only grown.
Have you changed? You're still the same person, aren't you?
'Tis quite a story, but it deserves explaining. I only hope you can believe us.
Alright, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. I had thought all this business with declaring yourself the prince was a well-meaning bluff. But under the deception, you were, in fact, the actual prince. Is that right? Still, I mean, how do you get the whole country to believe your story? Is that even possible?
Frankly, I doubt it. We've just seen firsthand how far we'll get trying to talk the people down.
Then what will you do? If this goes on...
But you're still you, yes? You came to help everyone, just like you helped me before, right?
Yes. Don't worry. I'll figure something out.
Good.
I see. So, even if no one believes you, you're still determined to settle the score with Luis head-on?
Even so, the gulf between us is wider than ever. The people have all but named him their champion. With so little time, a guileless appeal to the public may fall on deaf ears.
Hard luck for the honest knight. And not much room left for civil debate now that Luis is openly advocating killing his opposition. Well, that ship sailed when the king's magic faded. Anyway, if there is a key to turning the tide, first place I'd look is the castle in the sky. You saw how violent and volatile the city folk are now, but I don't think it's as simple as fearing Luis. I've been keeping an eye on the royal capital while you were off on your jaunt through the woods. Frankly, the change in public sentiment was too sudden, unnatural. It's as if they've been collectively drained of their sanity, and if I had to guess what's causing it...
You're implying it's Luis's doing? All the eeriness in the sky. Is that because...
Don't know, but the change in the citizens is certainly odd. If something really is forcing it, that means we might still have a chance to fix it.
On the other hand, it may well be bait for a trap.
Trap or not, we have no other choice.
Then it's settled. Head to the royal palace and put a stop to whatever Luis is cooking up. With that Skyrunner, you're the only ones who can. And we'll fight in the ways we can too. We'll make sure the whole kingdom hears that the real prince is back after all the strife he's been through.
Indeed. If you can make things better, you might just inspire everyone to remember their own hopes and dreams. Maria's been terribly patient, waiting for you and believing in you. It'd be nice to see her smile again.
Right.
I'll always believe in you. We'll all do our best, so you can be a good king.
Indeed. If we win, I suppose you really will be king.
We're counting on you, O king.
'Tis too late today for a grand charge, I fear. Let us take a night's rest, and on the morrow, we make for the castle.
What to pick?
Hold there. Your Highness.
Good night.
The day of the hero draws near, which shall see the crowning of a new king. 31 days remain.
To all the people who dwell in this land,
This voice?
soon naught but 1 month will remain. On the dawn of the day of the hero, the one who has inspired the greatest faith of the people shalt inherit the kingdom. I bid thee forget not these words.
Wasn't expecting to wake up to such a spectacle. But I suppose that confirms it. This is where it ends.
Luis has already fortified himself behind the palace walls. Good thing we've got a Skyrunner. Or it'd already be over for us.
Or perhaps it is us he has been waiting for all this time.
However disturbing the world looks now, 'tis only a prelude to the deadland Luis strives for.
Sky looks proper hellish already. And with all the humans out there, it's no wonder everyone's losing their grip.
Well, he wanted a fair world where strength decides everything. Funny how that's indistinguishable from absolute chaos.
But it's Luis who has the most support right now. And that wasn't born of deception. He broke the nation's order, and everyone knows it.
Sure enough. That's what got our Dell and I dreaming to begin with. Figured a world where the poor and weak get trampled on was a world worth breaking. Come to think of it, what do we all stand for, really?
Maybe... hope.
A little broad,
Don't you think? I don't really know what everyone's talking about, but everyone who's seen you and your friends say you're amazing. You make them really, really happy. Because, you know, you've got all the tribes in your team. Everyone's different, but you keep working together and doing great. You're so cool.
A fair point. You're quite right, Maria. It is a hard thing to word, so forgive my fumbling. But perhaps it is a matter of standing for something Luis does not believe exists. We must prove that it does.
If you keep on believing in what you want, and you keep on working hard for it, it will come true.
That's right, love. I can think of plenty of people who would be much happier if they took a page from your book.
I see now. This is surely the essence of true magic.
Best of luck, Your Highness. After all those speeches about taking the throne, it'll be awfully irresponsible to go dying on us now.
Right, thank you.
Well, we'd best keep an eye on the calendar. The King's deadline was the dawn of the day of the hero, so we've got until the day before. And that won't be the end of things either. Even if people come to their senses, it would amount to nothing if Luis sits upon the throne. Personally, I think we should prioritize our main objective here. I'm sure we'd get it done, but we have to make sure we have at least one day to spare before the day of the hero.
We've got a few days left, so it's up to you how we spend them. When we set off, let's do it with no regrets. So Luis is hiding in the floating royal palace here. We have to stop him. I won't accept King Luis. Here's where we are now.
Let's put an end to this.
Dash it all to bits!
Excuse me?
However... Aye, yes. The truth is, Gastro's been acting as a proxy since the giant sandworms made the governorship one big open question. Everyone's gathered here today to learn what's what, and probably to sentence me to exile.
What will you do if you're exiled?
Who knows, laddie? This town was everything to me. Maybe I'll just live alone for a bit in the mountains and think on it there.
I asked you all to gather here so I could speak about Martira's governance. But while Bardon was recuperating, I was glad to act as his proxy. However, henceforth, I would like Bardon to resume his duties as governor.
But what's this?
This town's autonomy was initiated by your sheer pluck. At the time, I cooperated only so I could use you for my own ends. But I had a revelation in those moments as the giant sandworm approached. I saw that I cannot even protect myself, much less the people. When you returned here exhausted and in tatters, I regretted everything from the bottom of my heart. My actions are unpardonable.
Sir Gastro, but if I go back to governing, it's...
Have some faith in yourself, Bardon.
All right, if you say so. I'm just not sure where to start. Except to begin with an apology. My excessive measures frightened you all, and I implemented them because of my own insecurity. I was anxious about whether or not I could keep you safe, so I turned to surveillance and barriers. No more. We'll keep some of our armed forces, but what I really need for security is to have faith in you all. That's why I am not fit to govern.
It's not over yet.
That's right. It's never over. We can still improve this town. And we want you to see it done. Bardon, listen! I followed your example and built a defensive barrier myself.
I did too. And I had an idea. We could turn uninhabited houses into shelters.
Things didn't go well before, that's true. But you're not the only one at fault, Bardon. This is just as much our town as yours.
Oh, laddies and lassies.
You see? After 2 disasters, everyone has a more mature view of things. You're free to decline. But is that really what you want to do?
Well, now I must apologize. If it truly is what everyone wants, I'll be the governor of Martira again. This time, I won't do anything to scare the populace. We'll have faith in each other and the town's unity will be known far and wide. And for our first step, I have the perfect suggestion. Step forward, young man. The reason I stand here now is thanks to this fella. He is the hero who saved this town. The one most worthy of the crown. I want us to support him as the future king.
Yes! Bardon and a hero together!
Come to think of it, I never told you the truth behind that bit of arson. It was this little poor wee un who started it. He didn't mean to, but he touched an igniter some fool had left behind. I only know this because just the other day he came to me begging for forgiveness, all in tears. If I'd known from the start, I would have just thought it a lone accident. Instead, I acted like invaders had infiltrated us. Got my people all terrified.
But in truth, you're a kind person.
I'm the kind of man who rushes in without thinking. I ought to take more care and not act so rash. Let's focus on the future now. This region, in fact the whole country, depends on it. Mind if I ask you just one more time? If you think I'm fit to govern?
There's no one more qualified for the job than you, Bardon.
And you truly believe that? Then I must devote myself to the work even more, so as not to disappoint the future king. Thank you greatly for everything you've done. This only happened because I had your support. Even when I made mistakes, you stuck by my side. I'll return the favor one day. I swear it.
The Honorable Guardsman, Bardon, keeper and heriter of the Commander's virtues. Your tempered bond has become a fire-forged trust. Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens within thee. By the grace of his newfound powers, work to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
You're the one who brought light to this town, to this country. Today really is such a bonny day. I'm blessed with the greatest of friends. The townspeople love me, despite all my flaws. And everyone is so... Thank you again. I'm just so happy.
Hey. Well, should be fine. Thanks.
That girl's amazing. I'm kind of emotional right now.
She looks a bit rustic, but she might have what it takes to be a songstress.
Look at Myrtis now. Her audience is melting in her hands. I asked Capra to make some connections, and I think introducing Myrtis here was the right choice.
I think she's got potential.
Yes, she really does. If I don't watch out, she may just pass me up. Her voice, though, it lights a fire in my heart.
You came?
Oh, I just wanted to catch a few notes. But I must admit, you sing with a river of emotions, and it swept me away. I didn't expect to say it, but I was having a great time.
You don't say? Well, thanks. I'll take your word for it. As for me, I think I've learned to face my demons. There's nothing standing between me and my songs now, so you keep an eye out, because I'll be right on your tail. Next time we meet, we'll be sharing a stage.
Well, shouldn't you be off then? Take too long and I'll have a stage larger than this country.
There's that telltale confidence. I will be off, but do enjoy your time here.
The cheek on that one. But you know, my good man, I think this whole ordeal has finally shown me exactly why I sing. It's not the lyrics, it's not the harmony, it's the power of the song as a whole. And it varies. When Myrtis sings, you can feel her fiery passion. But for me, I want my music to give people hope, no matter how deep the despair. I want my songs to show people that there is always a light that they just have to reach out and touch. That the future is worth fighting for. I think that's what the world needs right now.
You already fill me with hope.
To hear that from you, of all people, is high praise indeed. But just you watch. I'm not done growing. Well, it would be much easier to do that if the world weren't under a constant barrage of tragedies. So let's work together to create a world where everyone can hear me sing in peace.
We'll create a new country. Together.
Lovely. We'll be humming a merry tune the whole way. My sister told me something once. She said I should always strive to get my voice out to more and more people. Journey has been difficult at times, but I'm so glad I never gave up. And as for you, you better be at my side, listening to every note.
The ephemeral songstress, Junah, keeper and heritor of the masked dancer's virtues. By the grace of her newfound powers, work together to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
A future filled with happy songs is almost here. All right, enough of that. Tonight we drink. You're stuck with me until the dawn breaks. Don't make that face. I just want to see what kind of music you like.
The day of the hero draws near, which shall see the crowning of a new king. 30 days remain.
Here you are.
Got it?
I see.
Speaking of which...
Oh.
Shall we?
What can I do?
Smash it all to bits!
What can I do? Thank you very much. Let us pause.
Oh!
Truly. You!
Oi!
What?
That can't be.
Just the worst.
No, we mustn't yield.
That's true, but...
Thank you very much. Oh. I think not. But then...
Listen. No.
Wow! But then... I do believe...
Right.
Thank you very much. The old, cowardly me is no more. I must.
Intriguing. Thank you. Honestly, I was thinking about closing up shop for good, but... I see we have one last item of business for today. You didn't notice? 2 children have been following you. They have igniters. I imagine they're here for me.
Brigitta!
You two. I saw you at the village.
So you remember us? What a shame, right? I bet you didn't think you left any survivors, right?
Everyone we know is dead! You killed them!
I see. So, you're here for revenge. Is that it?
You've got it wrong. The church was the one that did this to you.
What are you talking about? The Sanctus told me all about it! They said you set the whole village on fire! That's why they gave me this igniter! They said, killing isn't wrong when you're punishing the wicked!
I see. You. My apologies. But I'd appreciate if you didn't interfere. No matter what happens.
That depends on what happens.
No. No matter what happens. Please. This is your first time killing someone, I take it. I hate to break it to you, But you should have finished the job without saying anything. You realize you just gave yourself away. Now I might dodge. That's a chance at survival I didn't have before. Might easily be enough to turn the tables and kill you. And what's the exit plan after you've done the deed? How do you get out of the city before they find my corpse? Or did the Sanctors forget to mention these details? The Church thought they'd use you to kill me. That? Or they were hoping I'd kill you?
No! You're lying!
If you don't have it in you, then I suggest you save your revenge.
You're not fooling us!
It's a painful thing to live your whole life running away, carrying your sins on your back. If you ask me, it might even be harder than killing someone. You'll watch me die again whenever you close your eyes. You'll smell my blood, hear the rasp of my final breaths, see my eyes cloud. Again, and again, and again. That's what lies down this road. It's a dark path to walk, alone, with the weight of your despair. Your heart won't let you trust again, nor will it let anyone save you. But you still have time to turn back.
There's nowhere left for us to go.
I've prepared living spaces at my research facility. They're meant to give people like you a safe home.
What? What are you talking about? You think we trust you?
I know how easy it is to lose all your peace and hope in an instant. And now that you've seen that firsthand, I can't fault you for doubting me. But just once, just one more time, I want you to think of your future and get the help you need. It's a hard thing to crawl up out of hell. But the first step is having the courage to believe.
But if I lived in your place, you'd just kill me!
If I wanted to kill you, I'd have done it already. I'm not saying you have to trust me right away. Believe me, I have a hard enough time trusting people myself. But isn't this what you two really want? To believe in people, and believe in your own happiness. Thank you. I'll show you the way to the research facility now. That took incredible bravery, you two. I can already tell you have a better life than mine ahead of you. A more peaceful and gentle future, greater than anything we could imagine, is about to dawn. The two of them fell asleep as soon as they found their room. Must have been the first sleep they'd had in days. Can't imagine how nervous they must have been. We have to protect them. We can't let this place be destroyed. Suppose that means I can't afford to close down the shop just yet. I'll keep selling igniters for now. But I'll only stock models with limiters, meant to dampen their destructive force. And I'll offer a bargain for the people to trade in non-limited igniters towards buying my wares. Against the Church's campaign, it'll barely make a difference. But it'll buy some time until you take the throne, right?
And what do you plan to do afterwards?
Well, that depends on the new king. It's a small gesture, at best. A pretense at change. But it's enough. As long as it can give those children a little hope. I trust you to brighten our world. Give it the surge of hope it needs. Take the throne, and lead us forward.
I want that hope to come from the both of us.
Ah, right. Now I'm in the thick of this research. I can't exactly dismiss this as someone else's problem anymore. So we'll take on the job together. May the flame of hope burn ever brighter, and may the light of that torch pierce the world's dark. May it reach the crying and the suffering, and save them. I vow to stand by your side. I'll find ways to be useful to you. I was always afraid of telling the truth. I built igniters into a shell around my life. On the inside, I figured I had nothing. I was nothing. Just a hollow parody of a person. But even knowing how weak I really am, you refused to abandon me. Thanks to you, I've come to know hope again. So I'll believe in that hope and try to live my life to the fullest. That's my decision, and I'll stick by it. Thank you, young man, for giving me the courage to live again.
The trader and iconoclast Brigitta, keeper and heriter of the merchant's virtues. Your tempered bond has become a fire-forged trust. Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens within thee. By the grace of her newfound powers, work to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
Thank you for helping me embrace my weakness. No doubt there are countless people out there suffering, enduring unimaginable pains at this very moment. But you can show them that their world is not a living hell. Not when you have your own vision for it. I'll be waiting for the day it comes true.